Good evening. Thank you so very much for your invitation to this International Conference of the Humanities. I am your presenter for this session, Popsann Lambert Francis. I work at Northern Caribbean University, Mandeville, Jamaica, where I serve as a professor in the Department of English and Modern Languages. It is such a pleasure to be here today with you. Today, I will be speaking on a topic of interest, but not a topic that is well appreciated, especially by us in the areas of humanities and persons just being introduced in the field or in the area in academia. And that topic is the writing process. And you may ask, why talk to us on the writing process? Well, students, as students of the humanities, you will be required to write a plethora of essays. The objective of this presentation is to help you with writing by one, informing you about the stages of the writing process, and two, informing you about the benefits of the writing process. I think everybody loves cake, don't we? Yes, we do. Yeah, some form of sweetness. Now, today we're going to be baking a cake, and the first thing we do is we mix the icing with the sugar. Second, we throw the spices in, we put it in the oven. After 2 minutes, voila, the cake is through baking. We crack about 3 to 6 eggs, we put them on top of our baked cakes, we sprinkle our raw flour on, and the beautiful cake is ready to be eaten. Would you eat that cake? That cake that you would not eat is much like the writing assignment that many of us have written. It is not that we don't have the right ingredients, but we do not observe a process. Process is important. Process is important. Just like building a house or baking a cake, the efficiency or taste of the final product depends on the process. And yes, writing is a process. As outlined in our objective, the first thing we will look at is the stages of the writing process. Big five, everybody. High five the person sitting next to you. High five. Wonderful. That high five symbolizes the 5 stages of the writing process. Number one is self management. Before you can manipulate pen and paper, before you can manipulate keyboard, you must be able to manage yourself. You must be able to manage you, and I should be able to manage me. Focus on the task. Know the purpose for the task, and your personality type, believe it or not, affects what you write and how you write. Oh, yes. If you are an extrovert, unlike me, then you might be able to write in music, maybe in the daytime, or maybe under any circumstance. But for introverts, like me probably, you want quiet time, you want alone time, you want, for me, in the evenings to the nights where it's quiet and the time is cool. So your personality affects how you write and the approach that you take. The second one is pre-planning, right? Self-management is like digging the foundation, and pre-planning is right laying the blocks and the steel. This has to do with the process before writing, where you talk about the task. Do I understand the task? Question yourself. Talk to your colleagues. Talk even to your facilitator, believe it or not. Some facilitators are willing and able to give you feedback and to help you through this process. Plan with your deadlines in mind. The big P should not be present. And that big P is procrastination. Break down your task in bite-sized pieces, one day at a time, until you reach. Don't overestimate the time that you have. And then you want to set realistic goals. Be realistic about the time that you have to do the assignment. Be realistic about your energy level. Am I a slow coach or am I fast paced? I'm ready to go. Or be realistic also about the resources that are needed. Then the next stage, which is the Third stage is pre-writing. We not start right yet, as we would say in Jamaica. This has to do with the writing. Narrow. First stage in that is to narrow your topic. If your professor gives you a topic about pollution, narrow it. Pollution is wide. Am I going to be talking about the types of pollution? Am I going to be talking about the effects, the causes, or even prevention of pollution? Narrow your topic. Then you want to brainstorm. You want to physically jot down ideas. I recommend that. I usually say a short pencil is much better than a longer memory. You want to jot down your points. If you think your memory is better than a short pencil, then sure, you can do it mentally, but we strongly suggest jotting them down with pen or paper, or even typing, and sharing your ideas with your peers. Getting their perspective on it is also important, and researching, reading, and giving an outline of what you're going to be doing. Then it's draft time. Time now to draft, to write the actual assignment. And when I say first draft, I don't mean that you have to do one draft. You can do multiple drafts, and this is so much dependent on self-management, which is the first phase or stage of writing. Then final draft. The cake is finished, the house is built, you're ready to eat, and you're ready to live. Does the process seem long? It might. Building a house might seem long to a carpenter. Baking a cake might seem long to a pastry chef. Studying to be a medical doctor might seem like ages, but at the end of the day, you get what you want. And what do you want? You want a good writing piece, right? So let's quickly recap. Stages of writing, of the writing process, are important because it equips you, it helps you to be in charge of you, right? Self-management, pre-planning, pre-writing, drafting, and then your final submission. But what are the benefits of this Popsann? Why should I do this? Benefit number one, you achieve your outcome. It would be very sad for a pastry chef to want a cake, and when the product comes out of the oven, it's a dumpling. You achieve your purpose of writing, which is important. The lecturer gets what she wants or he wants, and you get what you want. And then the obvious second benefit is better grades, people. Who doesn't want to graduate with high GPA? Just raise your hand. All of us want good GPAs. And we have to face it. Most of our writing tasks will be written assignments. So it's best if you learn to write so you can get better grades. Third, you become a more competent writer. It is not something that you're born with. Writing is something that you develop, and the writing process will help you with that development. Fourth, you prevent the big A, the big F, and the big WB. Big A, anxiety. Big F, frustration. And the big WB, the writer's block. You prevent those by writing, or you lessen them. And finally, you avoid plagiarism, which is such a serious offense in the area of academia. Remember, writing is difficult for some people, but it doesn't have to be. Just as how you can bake a cake by following step-by-step instructions and procedure is the very same thing with writing. How do you do this? By knowing the stages of the writing process and by knowing the benefits. What will I achieve? What are my goals? What are my objectives? What will I get at the end of the road? Remember, self-management, pre-planning, pre-writing, drafting, and the final stage. And also remember your 5 objectives, 5 benefits. You get your outcome, you get better grades, you become more competent, you lessen or prevent anxiety, and you also prevent plagiarism. Thank you so much for listening. Go out and write that thing right. God bless you.